Okay. All right. Can you hear me now? Because it's saying that you should be able to hear me now. So thanks for hopping over to this one, because obviously I can't see in the group what you're saying. So thank you for hopping over to my business page to let me know I had no sound. So we're going to go ahead and start over. You might have guessed what I was saying. So originally, so here we go. Let's start fresh. It's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Steppin' Up demonstrator, coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana, now with sound. Woohoo! I know this means thank you, but thank you, Missy, for getting over on my other page to tell me there was no sound. So, it's a wet day, but it's a good day no matter what, because we're all here. Ooh, and the UPS guy just drove up, so it's a really good day, because that could be another fun package. So what I was saying, when you saw this box and didn't see any words, or didn't hear any words, this is what the paper pumpkin box typically looks like when it comes in your mailbox. Then we have our special special boxes that come when they have a special theme and they want to just create a nice fun box. And these make great, especially when they are like this, they make great gift boxes too, where you can put a bunch of cards in them and then send them like this. So that's super fun. You can just put something right over here, a label or something, and that's what I've done. I've put a label over it, and then I put cards inside, and maybe I'll have to show you that sometime too. So anyways, I am live here on the May Day Hot Weekly Deals. I'm live on my Facebook business page, where Missy told me there was no sound. Thank you again, Missy. And I'm also live on YouTube. So if you are not following me on Facebook at Junebug Creations 29, or subscribed on YouTube at Junebug Creations 29, and hit that little bell so you know when I am live, then you'll want to do that. Or your other option, if that's not something you want to do, but you want to know when I'm going live, you can put heads up down below, and I have a chat that I do where I notify you typically about 5 minutes in advance, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, and let you know that I'm going live and where I'm going live. Now, if you're commenting here today in the May Day Hot Weekly Deals, your comments are entries into a giveaway for a stack of handmade cards. And who knows, you might even get it in a cute little paper pumpkin box. So again, like all of our kits, they're all inclusive. All of our kits in a box are all inclusive. All you have to do is add scissors. Now the difference is and I'll show you those on Saturday, the scrapbooking workshop kits do not come with adhesive. These come with adhesive. They don't come with, well, they do come with embellishments. I guess the only thing they don't come with is adhesive, and then you also have to have your trimmer so that you can cut things up and make them accordingly. So these are all inclusive. In other words, they are ready to put together. Everything's in it except the pair of scissors, because obviously they can't send you scissors. So you want to make sure to have a pair of scissors, which, like I said before, you probably have a bunch if you're anything like me. All right, so let's show you what's inside. So it all comes wrapped in plastic like it did the other day. In your very first kit, you get a clear block. In your brown kits, your kits like the other day, a block comes in every stamping kit. In your paper pumpkin subscription, you get a block in your first box, and then you use that block. I even had a redo and I messed up. That block you get to use again then for all your subsequent ones. All right, and then there's always a stamp set. Sometimes there's two. In March there's usually two as a special, because it's the anniversary of Paper Pumpkin, or birthday of Paper Pumpkin in March. So there's usually two sets. This time around there is one, and then there is one ink spot. It's Berry Burst. Sometimes there's more than one ink spot. Back when we did the sunflowers, there were two colors in it. So typically it's one of each. Every now and then it's two. I've never had two of each in the same box. It's either been two of these or two of these. So just so you know. And then the no-fail instructions. All right, we love our no-fail instructions. On the back, well, in the front, it shows you what's created in the kit. On the back, it shows you all the ingredients in the kit, the coordinating colors, and then in this case for Paper Pumpkin, it also shows you the coordinating dyes. All right, and then you have your ingredients page where it shows you card 1, card 2, card 3, and all the ingredients that go on that card. All right, so with that calendar, it showed you for each page or each of the 2 months it showed you. For card kits, it'll show you for each card what ingredients go on it. And then you have card 1, card 2, and card 3. All right, and if there are more projects, which every now and then there are, then it'll give you all of those. All right, I'm trying to figure out where to put that. All right, so here are the cards as designed in the kit. That's what I do first, is I always make one of each of the cards as designed. So this was the Thinking of You. This is 3D. It's all popped up on dimensionals, which is one of the adhesives. And then these adorable envelopes. Then we had this one with the hugs, I'm here for you. And again, the cool envelope. And then we had this one where it has a little bit of the gold inside, and then you use that. Congratulations, you are amazing. And then the cool envelope. Then last week I did some alternates. So the first alternate I made when I was working on what to do for alternates was this one. And then I thought, well, instead of cutting up another one, I'll just use another piece of that same layout, because you can see this is this cut down. So I've gone ahead and cut it down like that. And then I added some of the brushed brass butterflies because they just go well with it, and then did some stamping. And I chose, even though the Berry Burst is the color that came in the kit, I chose to use the purple, the gorgeous grape, to go with the card backing that I chose because it was nice and dark, and I like my sentiments to be dark. Then I did this one where I just took that card front, cut it down a little bit, cut it across, and then pulled it apart, put it on the black, which really helps the colors pop. All right, and then put it on the gorgeous grape. And then here, though, I stamped it with the black, and then, of course, again, added another brushed butterfly. All right, and then for this last one, I used an embossing folder to give it this texture. Isn't that great? And we'll be talking in a live tomorrow about the embossing folders and the texture and the different ones that we have. And then I use the black because the black really just helps those colors pop. I use some more butterflies, and then I use the dies that go with this quarter. So let me show you the dies. So for quarter 2, we have these dies: a sentiment piece, hugs, a flower, and leaves. And then for quarter 1, we had the hearts, the chives, and the bees, but I think these are sold out. So now we just have these. All right, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think I noticed that these were gone. But these are still awesome because you still have leaves, you still have a flower, you have a great sentiment piece, and then you have the hugs. So that's what I used. I used 3 out of 4, the flower, the sentiment piece, and the hugs on that card. All right, and I keep them all together. So our next, so we had first this kit. This was the first kit of this quarter. Our next kit that is already too late to subscribe to because it was April 11th to May 10th. The next one that should be coming probably next week, so if you join me over on Junebug Creations 29, you'll be able to see this one, is this Mountain Majesties one. It is kind of masculine oriented, but if you're like me and you live in the mountains and you know tons of people who love the mountains, it doesn't have to be boys only. All right, and then the next one that you have until June 10th to subscribe to is the Full of Charm one, and it coordinates with a stamp set and suite that is in our catalog or in the online exclusives. I haven't figured out where it is. I got to look for it. I keep forgetting. All right, and so then it's going to look like that. So there's a little bit of gold foiling in it still, and then all these wonderful colors. All right, and it typically is 9 cards with coordinating envelopes and then the different ink spot. So let's go ahead and we're going to use some of the extras that I had in the kit and that were left over from those other cards. And I brought in my birds, dragonflies, and butterflies because I thought I might use these instead, so we'll see. At first I couldn't find the butterflies. And I have here an envelope. I have these two. These were the tops of those cards that I cut off. And I have a couple envelopes here because they can make pockets with those. And then I have this that's still left over from what I had done, and then a whole new one. So we're going to get started on that. And these make nice frames, so you can actually put a picture in here. So I've got this one already cut down. Let's move this out of the way. All right, so these are the envelopes. So I'm bringing in, this is the two-tone black paper, and you can see how it's got the two tones. One is lighter, one is darker. All right, so this is the two-tone black 12 by 12 paper for scrapbooking. I'm going to set that aside for a minute while I grab this and just make a slight adjustment. I can still see part of the score line there, so I want to just make a slight adjustment and take that off. All right, and then I want to cut this one down. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to leave these like this because I want to be able to put my larger pictures on there. And then I'm going to cut one of these envelopes down like this. And so you could use this because it's just white, but I probably will just recycle it. All right, but now I have a little pocket. And I just realized I forgot my punch. Let me get a punch. All right, so that way I'll be able to see when I put something in there. So I'm going to turn this over. So here's a punch. And I'm just going to do this like that. That way when you slide something in, you see that it's there. All right, so this is where you can put some ephemera. So like tickets to a concert, birthday card, or something like that. And you can either have it like this or like this. So I wanted to make sure to do that. So let's let's go ahead and let's see. Let me make some adjustments. Here we go. There we go. All right. Just trying to get everything pulled up that needs to be pulled up on the computers. All right. That's what happens when you have more than one screen. All right. So I'm going to put one of these up here and one of these here. And you see how the black really makes it pop. I love that about it. All right. We have this one. And I think I'm going to use one of the other card bases instead of cutting up more envelopes. And because we've got some gold going on and we want to make sure to have some pool party in there to tie into this, I'm not going to use this one. And we're going to use this one here instead. I think I'm going to do this one here. I think we're going to do that like that. And all right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to trim some 1/2-inch strips off of this. All right, some 1/2-inch strips. And we'll just get all this great color in here. 1/2-inch strips like this. And then what I want to do, because I want more of this, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to use this side because I'm going to really tie in the pool party to that. All right, so who scrapbooks? Tell me if you scrapbook. And what kind of scrapbooking do you do? Do you do paper scrapbooking? Do you do digital scrapbooking? Let's see, that may be enough. What kind of scrapbooking do you do? Oops. All right, hold on. Well, hold on, let's try it this way. So we're going to use our scissors And I'm just going to trim that right there on that fold line. All right, here we go. On the fold line, like this. All right, so which kind of, I have never really gotten into the digital. I think I tried doing a digital book once and then decided that really wasn't for me. I like working with the paper. All right, so this was one of our leftovers off the card. I'm going to trim it down to 1/2 inch so it's the same size as everything else. All right, so here we go. I'm going to, here we go. I'm going to do this here. And then I'm going to alter it with one of these. And then do, let's see, I want to alter it a little bit. So we'll add some pink in there like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover that end like this. All right, and that way we have more to go on this side and we don't have to try and stretch it all the way across. So then I'm going to do one like this. All right, we're going to have to move it a little further. Oh, guess we need to line it up too. We want to line it up. And a good way to do that is if you have some sort of a mat that has measurements, you can, so I can put this down in the corner. And that way I can line it up here, here, and here. And that way I can line it up here. Here. And here, and then we can put this right there on top of it. All right, I'm kind of using Rachel Tessman as an idea, but I'm changing up what she's done. But I like how she used the black background and then she used the strips of the cards. All right, and so then what I want to do, because I've got this, I want to make sure, and I'm going to add it right over here on the white so that it kind of hides some of that white, but it goes right up to that. All right, so right up to that. And then, okay, I think we're going to move that up a little. Whew. All right, so I dropped that down a little too much. All right, so we're going to do that. And so you'll be able to get two nice 4x6 pictures on here. And like that. So I want this all the way out to the outside like this. So I like to sometimes, it's been a while since I've scrapbooked regularly, so sometimes I like to get on Pinterest and look. And the nice thing is with Paper Pumpkin, with stamp sets, with kits, you can go to pretty much, you can type in the name of it and you will get all kinds of ideas. So I'm going to line that up right here like that, and then I'm going to put this right here. All right, and then I'm going to do this one over here like this. Let's see if they'll stretch far enough. Nope. I didn't really want to line that up, so we're going to have to do some modifying. I didn't want them to be all lined up this way. So we're going to have to do some modifying and some adding. Here we go. Let's put this one in there. All right. Let me think. I'm going to move this down Oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this over here. Oh, that's too much of a similar color. All right, we'll do this, and then this one, like that, and we're gonna bring this out like this. And you want to take these off carefully because it's really delicate and they can tear. So you want to pull this apart delicately, and they are not stickers. All right, so I will be using some adhesive, some dimensionals, and using those because you can use a little bit of dimensionals in your scrapbooks. You wouldn't want to use too much. You don't want it to be too bulky because then it doesn't close well. All right, and we're going to do this one over here like this and tie it right in to that there. There we go. And then we can cut these down so that we're not wasting. Well, actually, I think I'm going to just use this one like that. All right. And this one over here like that. Actually, we'll do this one down here. All right, so I'm gonna do the layout, but you won't be able to watch me glue it together because I'm starting to run out of time. For those that might be looking at the time in the May Day weekly, hot weekly deals. All right, so it's gonna be like that. And then we have these. And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to cut this ball in half. All right. And you'll be able to see this over here like that. Ooh. Let's see. Move that over just a bit. You'll be able to see that right there. And then I'm going to put this one on this side like that. All right, and then I would glue it down, and then what I think I'm going to do is use the hugs. All right, use the hugs and then go ahead and do some hugs around here for the words. All right, do some hugs and probably add some flowers, but I'm looking at the time and my time is up in the group. I will post a completed picture of this page, but I wanted to just give you an idea of what you can use if you are done making all the cards or you can't think of any more cards to make. Then you can do it for scrapbooking. You can make other things out of these as well, and there's plenty of ideas all over Pinterest, of course. I only have a few ideas myself. So this was one of them, and I did get this inspiration from Rachel Tessman, another demonstrator. I love the black. I was starting to use the pool party and decide the black was really going to make the colors pop even more, which is why on all those alternate cards I kept using black, because it really makes these colors pop. So thank you for joining me. I will make sure to check your comments after this is done, and even on the other posts as well. Remember, all your comments get you an entry into a drawing for cards, and you will get some of the alternate cards from this kit. So you will get some of these wonderful eye-popping colors. So thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I will be back here tomorrow around 11 again. I can't remember what time it's set at. It's like 11 or 11:30 tomorrow, and in the evening again. I'll be doing 2 lives tomorrow to make up for missing a live yesterday. So make sure you join me, because we're going to talk about punches versus dies, and we're going to talk about texture. All right, and the cool machine that makes it all happen. So join me tomorrow, and I will see you then. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye-bye.